Do you go through times in your life when you procrastinate, when you avoid opportunities, and when you doubt your own abilities? Well, if so, you might be self-sabotaging. Self-sabotage is when we unconsciously undermine our own efforts, often because of fear, limiting beliefs, or past trauma. It's a deeply ingrained behavior that often seems to arise right when we are on the cusp of success. I've personally faced this challenge many times in my life, experiencing moments when fear and self-doubt would stop me from moving forwards. My solution is a specific meditation strategy that I'll share with you in just a moment. Mindfulness has helped me to break free from self-defeating habits, and it has given me the mental space that I need to observe my destructive patterns and to change them from within. Let's discuss exactly what causes self-sabotage scientifically. Self-sabotage is often rooted in our brain's survival mechanisms. These mechanisms can trigger fear of failure and fear of success, and that can lead us to act in ways that protect us from perceived emotional harm, even at the cost of our goals. For example, I procrastinated for a long time before I published my book, Your Best Meditation, because of my fear of failure, even though, in reality, publishing my book could lead me to success. So as I mentioned, scientifically, self-sabotage is linked to low self-esteem, to anxiety, to limiting beliefs, and to past trauma. And these experiences can create beliefs that we don't deserve to be successful, or that failure is simply inevitable. And in turn, that leads us to negative behaviors such as avoidance or procrastination. The situation gets even worse for people with mental health conditions such as anxiety and borderline personality disorders, in which case intense emotions and fear of abandonment can make self-sabotage feel automatic, pushing us to reject opportunities before they can hurt us. But as I mentioned, meditation can turn all of this on its head. It did for me, and I'm confident that it can for you too. Meditation is a powerful tool for breaking free from the grip of self-sabotage. Let me share with you how it's helped me, and in turn, how it can help you too. For starters, I'd like to discuss general mindful awareness. The key to overcoming self-sabotage starts with awareness. Through meditation, I learned how to observe my thoughts without judgment. I recall countless moments in my life when fear bubbled up. For instance, fear of making the wrong decision, fear of failing. But with mindful awareness, instead of allowing that to control me, I was able to stop. Meditation allowed me to pause and to see my thoughts clearly without being controlled by them. It gave me space between myself and my negative thoughts so that I didn't react impulsively, I instead reacted consciously. During the lowest moments in my life, I've used mindfulness to create distance between myself and all that mental anguish. And that simple act of observation has helped me to stop the cycle of self-sabotage before it takes hold. So begin with simple mindful awareness. Another important step is cognitive restructuring. This has been a major breakthrough in my personal journey. Recognizing and challenging the negative beliefs that I have about myself. Over time, meditation has helped me to replace my limiting beliefs with healthier, more realistic, and more positive ones. I remember in particular how in moments of doubt, I would remind myself in my meditation sessions that, yes, I am worthy of success just as much as anyone else is. In a way similar to cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, meditation helped me to systematically identify and then change negative patterns of thinking. I reframed my thoughts so they became more positive and more empowering. Now, as somebody, as I have mentioned before, with BPD, emotional regulation has certainly been huge for me, and of course, meditation has helped here as well. It was a long time that I allowed my anxiety to dictate my decisions, especially during difficult moments in my life. But through practicing Vipassana, I've learned to process my emotions in a more conscious and more mindful way, and in doing so, I've empowered myself to respond with clarity and calmness. I'll be honest with you, meditation hasn't completely ended my anxiety, but it's given me space between myself and my anxious mind so that I now see my anxiety as a passing cloud rather than something permanent that has a grip on me. With consistent meditation practice, I've learned not to give in to those feelings of anxiety. I've broken free from the fear and the uncertainty, and that has allowed me to move forwards in positive ways. If you're self-sabotaging, I definitely recommend that you do visualization meditations, and you can find many of them on my blog, thedailymeditation.com. Visualization has become one of my favorite tools for overcoming self-sabotage. I vividly remember moments when self-doubt would paralyze me, especially when I was contemplating the bigger decisions in life. But through meditation, through practicing visualizations, by visualizing my success, and by doing so in vivid details, I've empowered myself to overcome challenges and to move forward in a productive and confident way. Visualization meditation has helped me to develop the courage that I need to really take control of my life. I've now mastered self-sabotage, but I will always remember my moments of self-defeat, and I would like to share one with you. One of the most extremely stressful times in my life, a time when I completely lost all self-belief, a time when I was so low that I fled from my life in Canada to go back home to England because I felt safer there. I completely disengaged with my life, and no, I am not proud of this. During that time, I was tormented by thoughts like, I'm not good enough, I'm weak, my life is over, all those horrible, crippling thoughts. It was the hardest time of my life, and the worst moment of self-sabotage for me when I literally ran for my life and went back home to England, and in England, I literally just stayed in bed. Then, one day came when, amongst all these days in bed, I said to myself, okay, I'll stay here in bed, but I'm going to change one thing. Instead of lying here in bed, completely consumed by depressive thoughts, I'm just going to observe my breath. And so I did, for hours. It was a tiny, tiny step, but it was a step in the right direction, and I did it each day. Each day, instead of being consumed by thoughts, even if I was doing absolutely nothing, I would just observe my breath, and it created space between me and all that negativity. I can honestly still feel what it was like at that time, and it was awful. But meditation, mindful breathing gave me space. Eventually, the time came when I was able to leave the house, and I would go for Zen walks around my peaceful village of Helmden. I'd feel the grass under my feet. I would hear the baaing of the sheep. and watch the grey crowds rolling through typical English skies. Then I started visualizing my future. I visualized myself in detail, going back, reclaiming my life, confident and renewed. And that trained my mind to prepare to do so, to actually go back and reclaim my life. It took time. It took me a couple of months before I was strong and confident enough to do it. But with meditation, I went from absolute rock bottom, absolute destitution, to regaining my confidence and taking back my life. Now, here are the tips that I recommend if you're at that point of self-sabotage. First, start small. If you can only meditate for 1 minute, go and meditate for 1 minute. If you're lying in bed like I was every single day because you're so down depressed, lie in bed every single day, but instead of being lost in your thoughts, just allow yourself to breathe. Just focus on your breath. Honestly, just do one tiny, little positive thing. It doesn't matter how small it is. If you're at that low point of self-sabotage, just do one little positive thing for yourself, no matter how small it is. Also, gradually begin to rebuild your calm, mindful awareness. It won't happen overnight. You're still going to get lost in those negative thoughts occasionally. But just try to be a little more mindful each day. Try to be a little more conscious, a little more calm. Be aware of your thoughts and your feelings and remind yourself, these are just thoughts. These are just feelings. That will help you to detach from any negative emotions and any crippling self-doubt and negative thoughts. In moments of anxiety and fear, just being aware and just saying, this is just a thought, this is just a feeling, will give you the space that you need to breathe. Then when you feel ready, start to visualize being a bit more positive, bit more productive. And again, you can find many visualization meditations on my blog, thedailymeditation.com. Visualizing yourself being positive and successful will help transform your mind. It will shift you from the negative, self-sabotaging mindset to one of positivity. Visualize your success, because that will help your mind to plan, to create that success. Also, definitely consider loving kindness meditation. Loving kindness and self-compassion is everything. Because if you hate yourself, you're not going to treat yourself in a nice way, are you? It's just logic. So if you are at a point of self-sabotage and self-animosity, then just start by being a little bit more compassionate to yourself. 3 ways you can do that with meditation would be with loving kindness or metta, and with karuna and tonglen, all of which you can find on both my YouTube and my blog. With self-compassion, you'll start to develop more positive feelings for yourself. You'll start to love yourself a little bit more, and that will help you to shift to a more positive way of being. And of course, integral to all of that is regular practice. Meditate every single day, even if you can only do it for a minute. I have students who sometimes have really, really bad days, and I don't want to meditate today. And I'm like, okay, just take 10 mindful breaths. That's it, just 10. If that's all you can do today, that's fine. 10 mindful breaths is infinitely more than 0. So if you're on a low day, just take 10 mindful breaths. Meditation has allowed me to transform the way that I approach my fear, my self-doubt, and my anxiety. It's helped me to step into a life filled with purpose, confidence, and peace. By practicing mindfulness, visualization, and emotional regulation, we can all break free from that horrible cycle of self-sabotage, and we can move forward towards the life that we deserve. The first step is always small, and so if after this video you feel that you can only do the smallest little thing today, the tiniest little step in the right direction, do that tiny little thing. no matter how small it might be, because it will start you on the right path. And remember, I'm here for you. Why don't we do this journey together? Why not book a private meditation session with me on thedailymeditation.com? Thank you. I hope you have found this helpful. Please leave me any comments and questions that you might have. Remember to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you ever so much.